Hey guys, okay, so I've dyed my hair. What do you think? You like it? I like it. And also about an hour ago, I was outside and my aluminium window was open and I smashed my head into it. So I've got a gash like that long and it's pretty deep. I managed to make this blood stop, but I had blood like all over my face. It was horrible, but I'm gonna keep filming today because I want to. Kia ora, hello, and welcome back to Crime, Mystery and Mayhem with Kate. If this is your first visit to my channel, hello and welcome. It is great to have you here. Here on my channel, I talk about true crime stories because I find them interesting, and I'm quite intrigued as to why some people do the things that they do. Also today, if I slur or stumble on my words, it's because I took a knock to the noggin. I might need stitches. I think I need stitches, but I'll do that later. Anyway, you can also find me on Instagram, X, Patreon, Threads, TikTok, and Facebook under Crime, Mystery, and Mayhem. But on Facebook, I am under Sharon Kate. Please remember to like this video and subscribe to my YouTube channel because it would really help me in my attempts to grow my channel. Okay, so today I am going to be talking about the senseless killing of a beautiful trans girl called Brianna. I don't know if I'm saying her last name right, but it's spelled G-H-E-Y. Is that Ghey? Brianna Ghey? Let's jump into today's story. On the 11th of February 2023, Brianna, a 16-year-old British transgender girl from Birchwood in Warrington, Cheshire, England, was killed in a park in Warrington. Two teenagers, both aged 15 at the time, were charged with her death 4 days after the incident. So they're saying a motive has not been established. The police said that they were investigating all lines of inquiry, including investigating the killing as a possible hate crime, because also Brianna went through a lot of bullying, a lot. Brianna was only 16 years old and she was in year 11 at Birchwood Community High School. Her parents described her as a larger-than-life character. She was so sweet. She was a lovely girl. She loved to help people and she would leave a lasting impression on all that met her. According to her friends, she would often help younger trans girls safely and legally access hormone replacement therapy. She was just so sweet. She wanted to help people. They also said she had faced years of transphobic harassment and bullying before she was killed, including at school, a part of which was being repeatedly beaten up. So the school, they say that she wasn't harassed or hurt at school. The head teacher at her school said that she spoke to Brianna's mum, and apparently Brianna's mum confirmed that Brianna was not bullied at school and always felt well supported by the school. But like Brianna's saying that she was bullied at school, so we're gonna believe Brianna. In addition to being a student, Brianna was also a TikToker, and she had about 63,000 followers. On TikTok, she was known for miming and dancing. She loved the popular music of today. One of her final TikToks actually said that she was excluded from school, and after her death, her TikTok account was deleted. So sad. She's such a sweet girl. On the afternoon of February the 11th, 2023, Brianna was found with multiple stab wounds on a path in a park in Warrington by a member of the public. That's so sad. Emergency services were called at 3:13 p.m. and she was pronounced deceased at the scenes. A Home Office post-mortem was ordered to determine the cause of death. And on the 15th of February 2023, prosecutor Leanne Gallagher said the attack was extremely brutal and punishing. This girl went through so much. A post-mortem examination found that Brianna had been stabbed 28 times across her head, her neck, her chest, and her back. That is a lot. On the 8th of March 2023, an inquest into her death was opened at Warrington Coroner's Court and subsequently adjourned until after the trial. A pre-inquest hearing was scheduled for the 17th of August 2023. Brianna's funeral, it was beautiful. It was beautiful. It was held at St. Alphonse Church, Warrington, on the 15th of March 2023. So the two teenagers who killed her had actually been planning this horrific attack for weeks, and a handwritten murder plan of how to carry out the killing was found in Girl X's bedroom following her arrest. So I have to call them Girl X and Boy Y. It is what it is. It's because of their ages. The pair also drew up a kill list of 5 children before they decided that Brianna was going to be their target. On the day of her death, Brianna was lured to the park by Girl X before being attacked with a hunting knife in broad daylight. She suffered stab wounds to her head, neck, chest, and back. That is a lot. The pair had planned to conceal her body in the park, but they were spotted by a couple walking their dog and they ran away. So these two, they just went home and carried on as if nothing had happened, with Girl X later posting an online tribute with a photo of Brianna. Warped. Absolutely warped. A TikTok memorial account and a GoFundMe page were set up by Brianna's friends to support her family, and it raised about £70,000 in only 3 days. That is amazing. And they got over 36,000 followers on TikTok. That's awesome. I'm so glad that she had so much support. After Brianna's fundraising page reached £100,000, her family thanked people for their overwhelming generosity, and they said that the money was spent on her funeral, refurbishing her bedroom, and the purchase of cremation jewellery for the family's remembrance. And some of the donations were also designated for a UK children's mental health charity. That is great. That money went to a really good cause, really good places. Candlelit vigils were held across the United Kingdom and in Dublin, Ireland, in the week after her death, with hundreds to thousands of people attending. She had so much support and love. It is so sad, this story. A Cheshire police investigating officer said that Brianna's family were overwhelmed by the messages of support, positivity, and the compassion across the country and beyond. On the 13th of February, a no-fly zone was instituted over the site of where Brianna was killed in response to flights by drones. And despite the no-fly zone, people continue to fly drones over the site, prompting condemnation from police. An LGBTQ-themed radio station called Gaydio announced it had collaborated with other LGBTQ stations in the UK to broadcast a minute's silence at 11 a.m. on the 11th of February. The silence was preceded by a feature introduced by transgender presenter Stephanie Hurst, where she would reflect on the discrimination and violence often experienced by trans people, as well as paying a tribute to Brianna. Due to the Gender Recognition Act of 2004 that prevents minors from acquiring a gender recognition certificate, Brianna's death certificate will likely misgender her. So on her gravestone, it has her birth name. So the Gender Recognition Act means that Brianna's death certificate cannot list her gender as female, and as a final insult, the English government will officially misgender her in death, which is horrible. It is so horrible. Twitter campaigns called for the UK government to issue a gender recognition certificate to Brianna so that she can have the dignity in death that everyone else in this world takes for granted. So a petition, it circulated, reaching more than 13,000 signatures for her death certificate to reflect her gender as a female. This is what she wanted. This petition has since been rejected by the government in England, who stated in response that the current policy strikes the right balance and that they had no plans to change it. Yeah, horrible, horrible. Two 15-year-old suspects, a boy from Lee and a girl from Warrington, were arrested by Cheshire Police on the 12th of February 2023. So police described the killing as a targeted attack, and they initially said there was no evidence the killing was hate-related, and on the 14th of February, the police said all motives were being researched, including whether the attack had been a hate crime. It clearly was. Come on. Come on. That's me again being black and white. On the 15th of February, the suspects were charged with murder, refused bail, and placed in youth detention, where they rightly deserve to be. The next day, the suspects appeared by video link in a brief hearing at Liverpool Crown Court. So at this hearing, Judge David Aubrey remanded them in youth detention accommodation until a pre-trial preparation hearing on the 2nd of May 2023, in which they were to enter their pleas. It's so sick, hey? Kids doing this kind of thing. Anyway, however, the accused were not required to enter a plea and were remanded until a further hearing on the 11th of May of this year. In a pre-trial hearing on the 20th of July 2023, one of the suspects entered a plea of not guilty, and a further pre-trial hearing took place on the 4th of October 2023, so super recent, during which the other suspect pleaded not guilty. Are they for real? So the trial commenced at Manchester Crown Court on the 27th of November 2023, really recent. Due to the nature of the case and the ages of the kids involved, reporting restrictions were put in place preventing the naming of both of the defendants, as well as any other children mentioned during the trial. So I legally cannot say their names. During the trial, the accused girl was referred to as X and the accused boy as Y. Both defendants were given the option of participating in the proceedings by either physically attending the court or remotely by video link from their secure accommodation. I'm sorry, but I'd say drag them in. So while in custody, X was found to have traits of autism and ADHD, and Y was diagnosed as autistic and has selective mutism, resulting in him not being able to speak to anyone except for his mum. That makes things a bit difficult, right? Reasonable accommodations were made for both of the accused during the trial. It's really hard to have sympathy for these two. Like, I know they have these issues. I've got an ADHD son. My brother's on the autistic spectrum, but it's hard. So because of his selective mutism, Y was allowed to communicate with court by writing, and both perpetrators were given the option to participate in proceedings via the video link rather than in person. The jury were also told that both Y and X could react or speak differently in the proceedings due to their diagnosis. So yeah, they're different. They're different. The prosecution was led by Brianna Ghey, with Cheryl Mottram acting as junior. The prosecution case opened in the afternoon of the 27th of November 2023 and concluded on the 8th of December 2023. Super recent. Both X and Y made separate defense cases. Richard Pratt led the defense case for X, with Sarah Holt acting as his junior. Richard Littler led the defense case for Y, with Stephen Swift acting as his junior. So the trial, it lasted 3 weeks, concluding on the 20th of December 2023, literally days ago, with both defendants being found guilty of the murder of Brianna. The jury heard girl X admitted to police that she enjoyed dark fantasies, but claimed to have no intention to ever turn them into reality, while boy Y said he went along with them and did not take them seriously. So yeah, she's saying this stuff and he's like, just thinks she's joking around. Both had also claimed they never expected the other to act on them and gave the same explanation of the crime, suggesting their own back was turned when the other began stabbing Brianna. So Jury deliberations lasted 4 hours and 40 minutes, and Mrs. Justice Yip indicated that life sentences would be forthcoming. On the 21st of December 2023, Yip ruled that the orders that protected the identities of the convicted killers would be lifted, and they would be named during the sentencing hearing, which was to take place on the 2nd of February 2024 at Manchester Crown Court. So we'll find out what their names are then. Not that it matters, right? Who cares what their names are? The story should be about Brianna. The Deputy Chief Prosecutor for the Crown Prosecution Service in Cheshire and Merseyside said that the CPS's role is to protect evidence for the prosecution rather than establishing a motive. Speaking outside the hearing, Deputy Chief Crown Prosecutor Ursula Doyle said that girl X and boy Y had been a deadly influence on each other and turned what may have started out as, just dark fantasies about killing into a reality. I just don't get it. I don't sit there and have random conversations with my friends about killing people. The pages and pages of WhatsApp messages between the two, planning and plotting to kill people, talking of killing, torture and cruelty, were very difficult to read. So I'm going to say some of what they said, but not all of it. It was also said that the messages provided a terrifying insight into the minds of these two kids. Cheshire Police's Detective Sergeant Mike Evans said it became clear early on that the pair believed they could cover their tracks. So they're high functioning. They're high functioning. They're not, with the ADHD and the autism, they're high functioning. Brianna was first introduced into the defendant's conversations by the girl, referred to as X, on the 15th of December 2022, almost 2 months before she was killed. X said in the conversations, so I'm going to read what the girl said. She said, "I'm obsessed over someone I know but don't have feelings for. She's called Brianna. I don't know how to explain. She also has a dick. Lol." So she sent the boy, referred to as Y, some selfies that Brianna had posted online, prompting Y to ask. So the boy said, "Is it a femboy or a tranny?" It. He called Brianna it. That really annoys me. So in their subsequent conversations, the boy often, if not always, referred to Brianna via the dehumanizing it rather than she, her chosen pronoun. So he just kept saying it. And later in court, the boy was asked why he called Brianna it. And he said it was just a joke, and he goes, "What I've learned from people, how they talk about people, which I picked up." No, you're just being rude. That's it. He's being rude. He's trying to push the blame onto someone else. Then he was asked, "Did you think that because she was transgender, you were entitled to hurt her?" And the boy said, "No." "But yet you did." X usually referred to Brianna as a girl, complaining at one point that she thought Brianna was prettier than her. In another conversation, the girl discussed wanting to take one of Brianna's pretty eyes as a trophy after killing her, while the boy said, "Really?" So this is what the boy said. This is disgusting what he said. "Really? All I want is to see what size dick it had." Are you fucking kidding me? Oh my god, absolutely disgraceful. This kid, my goodness. In a chilling exchange, a day before they took Brianna's life, the court heard how the murderous teens had been discussing how they would take Brianna's life. These kids. I need to calm down. I get angry with teenagers because I have two. They're different these days, my goodness. Okay, so they were showing little regard for their victim. Girl X asked boy Y which knife that he would bring when they ambushed Brianna. He said, "The hunting knife I showed you in person as well as on the phone." So I've got a picture of this hunting knife. In a ruthless follow-up question, the girl then asked her accomplice if that would definitely 100% kill her. And boy Y said, yes. During the horrifying chat, Manchester Crown Court heard how girl X was watching her favourite film. Sweeney Todd for the 9,000th time. So that's what she said. She's like, oh my God, I'm watching Sweeney Todd for the 9,000th time. It's a good movie, but it kind of, was not good for her. She told Boy Y that he kills people with one of the sharpest blades in the world. It's a good Johnny Depp movie, but still not good for her. Jurors heard how Girl X was obsessed with murderers, telling Boy Y in an earlier series of messages that she knew a lot about the US serial killer Richard Ramirez, aka the Night Stalker, who slaughtered at least 13 people in 1985. On January the 23rd, the girl wrote, I can talk about him for hours, including quotes and dates of stuff. I mean, I talk about killers, but I'm not going to go out and kill. Just saying. So the court heard the two teenagers had intended to meet Brianna on January the 28th, but they were forced to change their plans last minute because Brianna couldn't make it. Oh, I'm choking on my own saliva. Oh my God. Failing at life. Bashing my head open, choking on saliva. So later, Girl X told Boy Y in a message that Brianna would be able to meet them on Tuesday after school. And Boy Y said, I've got revision and I'm not bringing a knife. Later that day, Girl X messaged Boy Y and said, let's kill Brianna tomorrow, 6 p.m. So Boy Y told her he was unable to carry out the killing on a school night. Girl X wrote, I don't want to wait. I just want her to die. I want to see pure horror on her face and hear her scream in pain. Jeez, these kids are dangerous. My goodness. This is why we should snoop on our kids. Honestly, I'm going to snoop on my kids tonight. So the handwritten message detailing how Brianna would be killed was unearthed by police after the girl was arrested. It read, meet Boy Y at Wooden Post, 1 p.m. Walk down to library, bus stop. Wait until Brianna gets off bus. Then the three of us walk to the park. Go to the pipe tunnel area. Then she wrote, I say code word to Boy Y. He stabs her in the back as I stab her in the stomach. Boy Y drags the body into the area. We both cover up the area with logs, etc. So she'd written the plan. Prosecutors claim the pair had exchanged text messages before the attack that showed how they encouraged one another and they were egging each other on before the brutal attack on Brianna. These two, honestly. Girl X had sent a message to Boy Y saying she was excited as F, F-U-C-K. She's like, oh my God, I'm excited as F for tomorrow. Like, what? An air ambulance was sent, but Brianna, so this is at the scene, an ambulance was sent and Brianna had been stabbed 28 times to the head, neck, back and chest with her jugular vein severed, causing catastrophic blood loss. She wasn't going to make it. Another knife blow penetrated her heart and she was pronounced deceased at the scene at 4:02 p.m. During the trial, Boy Y appeared to hold a tissue to his face in the dock as details of the separate knife wounds were being spoken about, which killed Brianna. So he's acting all sad. Come on, no. The knife was found in Boy Y's wardrobe of his bedroom following his arrest with traces of Brianna's blood still on it. So the jury were told that Brianna was born a male and that although she had not undergone any gender reassignment surgery, she was living, dressing and referring to herself as a female at the time of her death. So her mum, Esther, told The Guardian earlier that this year Brianna transitioned when she was 14. Brianna knew. Although transphobia did not come up in the trial, the judge, Mrs. Justice Yip, may consider it to be an aggravating factor when sentencing one or both of the teenagers, but she told potential jurors on the first day of the trial to put aside any uninformed views about Brianna's killing. The judge is to decide at the sentencing if there was any motive to the murder, including that of transphobia. It is pretty obvious, right? By what I said that they'd spoken about, it's pretty obvious. Brianna's death prompted responses from her family, local community, politicians, charities, activists, and even musicians. Everybody was trying to support her. Her family said that her death had left a massive hole in their hearts. They were distraught. Emma Mills, the head teacher of Birchwood Community High School, said, "We are shocked and truly devastated to hear of the death of Brianna." Like, I get it, that's a nice thing to say, but also if she was being abused at school, I'm sorry, but this head teacher should have done more. I'm not blaming her, okay? A parent of one of Brianna's friends, speaking with the Daily Mail, alleged that the killing was a hate crime. Labour Party MP Dawn Butler said on Twitter that anyone in the media who is using her dead name, trying to erase Brianna's identity, should be ashamed of themselves. So calling her by the name she was born with, she was called Brian, but this is who she is. She's Brianna. Another Labour Party MP, Nadia Whitham, said Brianna deserved a chance to become a beautiful adult woman and to live to see a world where trans people are safe and respected. Too many trans people are being abused, and it's horrible. Former Labour Party leader Jeremy Corbyn responded by saying she was killed because she wanted to be herself. And he added, "My thoughts are with Brianna's family and the trans community fighting for safety, dignity, and liberation." The Miami Herald also reported that thousands in the LGBTQ community and users of social media were grieving over the stabbing death of Brianna. So LGBTQ rights charity Stonewall and transgender youth charity Mermaids, they expressed sympathy for Brianna's family. It is horrific what happened to her. It is so horrific. Also, the transgender community helplines reported large increases in calls soon after Brianna was killed, with topics concerning transphobia, gender identity, and hate crimes. I just don't understand why people are so horrible. I just don't get it. Various musicians tweeted their sorrow, disgust, and support, including Youngblood, Big Joni, and Reverend and the Makers. I know none of them. I am a metalhead. Sorry, guys. Some UK media outlets were criticised for how they were reporting on Brianna's death. They weren't being very good about it. The Trans Safety Network said that some of the UK media outlets were publicly disrespecting Brianna in their coverage of her death. And apparently initial reporting by both BBC News and Sky News did not state that Brianna was transgender. So the Times faced strong criticism after amending their original story by removing the word girl and including Brianna's dead name. Yeah. Shame on you, Times. The Times later went on to fix it, and they removed the dead name and re-added the word girl. The website, the Mary Sue, condemned what is described as the transphobic atmosphere of the British press and widespread transphobia, reporting on the killing of Brianna, and an article by NBC News on the killing commented that the climate in the UK has grown increasingly hostile for trans people over the last few years, noting that advocates within the LGBTQ community have often criticised the UK media in the last few years over publishing articles embracing anti-transgender sentiments. Come on, people, like, seriously. Also, Labour MP from Warrington North, Charlotte Nichols, said that she would be lodging a complaint with The Times and the Independent Press Standards organisation, and that there is absolutely no need whatsoever for anyone to publish her dead name when identifying her as trans in media coverage. Exactly. Shortly after the verdict was issued, Brianna's mum, Esther, said that her daughter was fearless. She was fearless to be whoever she wanted to be. And Brianna's dad, Peter Spooner, described his daughter as a beautiful girl to be proud of, and that his heart bleeds every day for Brianna, and this will never go away. It is so sad. So speaking about the defendants, X and Y, Esther said that prior to the trial, she had moments where she felt sorry for these two kids because they had ruined their own lives as well as her families. That is so kind that she felt this way. I don't know if I could, because I don't feel bad for them at all. However, this changed. So she changed during the trial, stating that she had lost all sympathy for the defendants as neither of them had displayed an ounce of remorse for what they had done to Brianna. She did, however, urge for some empathy and compassion for the families of X and Y, as they too have lost a child and must live the rest of their lives knowing what their children did. Horrible, horrible, horrible story. My goodness. When this story actually popped up on my feed, and I was like, I need to put the information together so I can talk about this one. It's still ongoing. It is so sad. It is so sad. This is, it's nearly Christmas. This poor family. I hope that Brianna's parents are doing okay, because I don't know if I would be okay. I have a 16-year-old daughter, and I go through stuff with her. But, they're our babies. We love them. We carried them as mothers. And, as fathers, they're our little girls. It's so sad. I really hope that Brianna's family are okay, and her friends. And I saw the pictures of Brianna's funeral. Oh my God, it was beautiful, you guys. You did such an amazing job. She would have been so proud. I also read how much of a lovely, sweet person Brianna was, and my heart goes out to you guys, honestly. And it's hard. It's a hard story to tell. I hope everyone is okay, and I feel that transgender people, they get so much hate, and I don't understand. What is up with that shit? Like, seriously, guys. What? So, it's the 21st century, right? Like, what, are we still in the freaking 1800s or early 1900s? No. Get with the game plan. You can be who you want to be. Seriously. Like, I'm bisexual, and I'm greedy. I like boys and I like girls. But that's me, and I'm proud of it. I don't give a fudge what anyone else says. That's me. I've always been this way. When I was in primary school, I had a crush on a girl, but I also had a crush on a boy. So I was like, what is going on with me? And then I figured it out. I swing both ways, and that's okay with me. It's just so sad that the LGBTQ community are constantly getting hate. Like, leave them the fuck alone. Seriously. Mind your own business. Honestly. Anyway, my head hurts because I took a pretty sweet smash to the noggin. So I just got a kitten. His name is Ted. I'm sure you guys have seen the kitten spam. He's so cute. He's 8 weeks old. He's half ragdoll. He's adorable. I love him so much. And so I was putting his litter tray onto the balcony, and I went down to put it down and smashed, because it was forced, I'm just putting my head down, and smashed my head on the corner of the aluminium window, and it just went split. So it split like that much, and all this blood just went down my face. I think I still got some on my hands. No, I'm pretty sure I cleaned it all off. But yeah, I was just about to start getting ready to film, and then popped my head open. It's not the first time. Can you see that scar? Probably not, because of the lighting, but I'll get closer. Can you see the scar? It's like there. That was another time that I cracked my head open. I also got one over here and here. I'm clumsy. I won't tell you why. No, I will. So I used to have a drinking problem. Yeah, I used to have a drinking problem. And this one and that one were caused by, that one wasn't, that was just me like accidentally falling and cracking my head on a rock. But this one and that one, this one was, what was that one? Oh, I was at the beach, I was fishing with my friend, and we had a few too many beers, and I was wearing jandals, flip-flops, and I was holding my fishing rod, and I was holding my chili bin, and I think I had some beers under my arm. I can't remember. It's quite hazy. Yeah. And we're going around the rocks, and I went boom, fell down. My beers went everywhere. My fishing rod went into the ocean. My chili bin went down the rocks into the ocean, and I went head down into a rock. My jandal got stuck in the rock. It was very bad. They had to bring in the helicopter because we were way out, like we went way out fishing, and I was passed out and stuff, and the tide was coming in, so we needed to get the heck out of there, but I was in and out of consciousness, and they had to airlift me. But yeah, so that's why I got this one. This one I actually don't, no, I remember. So no, that wasn't a drunken, was it? No, I slipped in the shower, and so I had my baby bath. So there was those plastic baby baths. It was standing against the shower wall, and I slipped, and I went conk, and the corner of the baby bath got the back of my head. So I've had to have stitches on my head a couple of times now, and now I got this one. So, and it's really bad. I'm not supposed to take knocks to the noggin because I suffer from TIAs. I have mini strokes. So hopefully, that's why I said if I go a bit funny, yeah. I think I might go to the doctor now. Make sure this is okay. They might have to stitch it or glue it. But yeah, that is the story of Kate's head injuries, and that's why I don't drink anymore. I quit alcohol. Had to, because I was not just hurting myself, but I was hurting people, not physically, but with words and stuff. Anyway, I hope you guys have a wonderful morning, day, night. It is almost Christmas. My what was supposed to be pink hair came out like raspberry. What do you guys think? Do you like it? I think I like it. I gotta be careful not to. There's my head injury over there. Yeah, I like it. What do you guys think? I like it. I'm happy. Okay. Have a wonderful morning, day, night, whatever it is where you are. Be kind to one another. Be kind. Be more understanding. Don't hate on the gay community or the transgender community. Be kind. Leave them alone. Thank you. Ka kite. Please remember to like and subscribe to my channel.